Hi, Sandy.
Hi, it's Kirk, and welcome to. Okay, Kirk's not here. It's Dave. Kirk, unfortunately, has not joined us this evening for our session, or during. Well, it is this evening for us when we're recording this.
For reasons unknown.
He is unknown somewhere. Hopefully he's okay. It is the 29th of December, so it's the Christmas period, and Kirky, he likes to go out and party. He's a party man. Talking to someone in some bar about some German Nouveau Deco 1980s influence in German rock band, probably talk about something like that. But he hasn't joined us, unfortunately, which means it's just myself and Andy that are going to be talking to you today. We're going to be doing our Broken Down and Pulled Apart series. And today's video, which we are breaking down and pulling apart, is Nightwish's song called Bless the Child off the Century Child album from 2002. So this is kind of right in the middle of the Tara era Nightwish. So there was still another album after this one, but she did before, obviously, she left. So we've already gone and watched this or watched the video. So we're going to play you a minute at a time of the song, and then we're going to talk about each of those minutes so you know what we're referring to. This is Bless the Child by Nightwish. Okay, so first minute here. I'm going to let you go first because this is your area of Nightwish.
It is, yeah.
So I think it's only right that you should really start the conversation on this one.
Okay. Kick things off straight. This is one of my favourite Nightwish songs. It was a band that I'd heard about, and they released several albums at the time, and they're in the press and everything. And I thought, well, I'll have to check these guys out. This is before the days of the streaming channels and everything. I managed to get hold of a sort of a double bootleg compilation of Tarja era Nightwish, and I really enjoyed the tracks on there. And this one basically stood out. It's on the in the first few songs of this particular compilation, and I just think it's a really, really good track. It's quite obvious to me as not seen into this video that it's a video edit, because there's only one verse, and there's at least three, I think, and it's 6 minutes plus on the album. But
okay,
the opening minute, I love the way that the strings effect comes in. It's not strings, but it's obviously a keyboard sound, but the volume sort of increases. That's the sort of an effect that the bands often use. The instrumentation is sort of brought in gradually, through the raising of the volume. So I love that bit. And then the verse starts, and the most noticeable part of the verse on this track is that Tarja sings a line, and then there's a guitar passage, a really good guitar passage, a really good hooky riff, and it's just played out at this stage. But later on in the song, the full version, the guitarist, I can't think of his name, he puts on these sort of little flourishes and licks over the end of the simple riff. And I'm thinking, you don't need that, mate. Yeah, I know you're probably showcasing your talents and trying to bring more to the song, but just play that really good riff at the end of the first line of the verse that Tarja sings.
Okay.
But we hear that just the once because it's just the one verse in this video edit. But I like the warehouse location. I know we talk about warehouse locations a lot on the channel.
So it ties in with the early 2002. That's the perfect time of bands were doing it.
Yeah, I mean it's a good location. There are sort of story elements as well, which will become apparent as the song goes on. But I really enjoyed the opening minute of this song.
So this is off an album my own, in the sense of digital download. So I digital downloaded everything, and I got into Nightwish. Now, when this was coming out, I would have skipped this completely. So 2002, I was probably listening to new metal still, and would have heard Tarja's vocals, and would have put me off. I would not have been into opera and metal. I didn't see the comparison, didn't see how they work together. So I skipped Nightwish completely until about 6-7 years ago. And that would have been Floor era Nightwish that I got into. So on the Endless Form's Most Beautiful album. So, and then I did that whole thing of going backwards through time and starting to go find the earlier albums. I went back and did all the albums. And what's really key for me is that when you listen to the Tarja era albums, the Annette era albums, and the Floor era albums, they're all very distinctive, and they all sound of their era, not just because of the vocals, but musically they adapt. There is some of the stuff in the Floor era that sounds like it could have been easily played in the Annette Olsen era. So musically, and we're going to talk about on another video coming up, we're going to be covering Nightwish and Noise. And that's one of those songs that I could hear Annette Olsen singing it. But when I listened to Bless the Child, I couldn't imagine anyone else doing it. Annette Olsen could not do this song. Floor can do it, but it will never be Floor's song. This is a Tarja song that the other two could only try to imitate, whereas in the other way round, you could see it being slightly different. So I like the track. So I love the gospel choir intro. The Drowning Man video part of it I thought was really interesting. There's a good balance of the rhythmic nature of the song and the choir. The only thing I did find is when those keyboards are going and what he's doing on this, or Thomas is doing on the keyboards in this, until he stops playing, you can't hear the guitars at all. Until as soon as he stops, and then you hear it goes Tarja, and then the guitar, as you were saying in the verse, then you clearly hear those guitars coming in. But that's because the keyboards are doing bugger all at that point. They've settled back. And this is something we've talked about about Nightwish being a massive issue, is when Thomas is playing on keyboards, he wants to be heard. He likes to be big on these keyboards. He's front and foremost. And those guitars just get buried in those mixes.
I was going to say that is almost typical Nightwish song structure, isn't it? You can't hear much else when he's doing his keyboard parts.
But when he's going dun, 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 and the guitars are going dun, 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 and you're like, well, why is the keyboard mirroring what the guitars are playing? And then it's only when he drops out. So it's just something that they do quite a lot throughout a lot of their stuff. But yeah, I really liked it. I liked her delicate vocal delivery. She's very precise and she's very thoughtful. So you're watching it in the video and you can see there's emotion, there's how she's putting it across. And it's almost like she's thinking about every word that she's putting across in the video, which I thought was really good. Let's go to the next minute. So this is minute 1 to minute 2 for you at home. Okay, Andy, take us through your next minute of the song.
Well, we get the chorus now. Trying to think back to the full version of the song. I'm sure the chorus doesn't come in this early. No, I'm sure there's another verse, but it's got a line in this that I think about a lot and have going through my mind. I'll often just randomly think about it and sing it to myself. And I'm not a huge Nightwish fan, but I absolutely love this song, and this has put such a huge stamp on my musical the songs that I love and the passages of songs that I love, and it's the line "Think of me long enough to make a memory." I sung it. I said it like Taj said it. Sings it. Think of me long enough to make a memory, and it's like just so instinctive because she delivers it in different ways throughout the song, and it just left this mark inside me. I think it's a really, really good piece of songwriting, great lyrics, and it does what a song should do. It hooks you in. That's the part that I'm sure many people think about when they think of this song and Nightwish in particular. Not really much else to say, really. I mean, the video story is developing into sort of like a couple having sort of issues, and the guy's racing towards his partner in a car through the night. So there's good interplay between the warehouse performance element and the story of the song as well.
Because I did struggle with the story element on this video because I was looking, because I haven't got the lyrics, so I hadn't looked at the lyric content. And generally, when I look at the video, I may pull a little bit of the lyrics out, but I'm usually listening to the musical elements and the video and seeing what I get. So I was looking at "Bless the Child," and then I kept looking at it, going, "Who's the child that needs blessed? Is it the guy that's racing? Is it the girl? Who is someone dying? Is she pregnant?" I was just sitting there going, I'm struggling to understand the context of what this video is trying to tell me.
Yeah, I think they're unrelated. I don't think there's a connection between, you don't like this, but I think it's probably an idea of a sort of story element for a song that doesn't necessarily relate to the lyrics. That's my opinion.
I've got a feeling that the video is not in the right timeline, in the sense that what they've tried to do is, sometimes how they'll show you the end of a story near the beginning, and then they'll show you passages that lead up to it as it goes on. So you actually have to make sure you catch the very beginning. So the drowning at the beginning is the ending, but you need to understand what happened to get to that by watching the rest of it. So then if you don't tie together that drowning bit at the beginning and you watch the rest of it, you're like, so he's standing there looking at her and she's no longer there. What's going on?
Yeah.
Oh, maybe it's because he died at the beginning in a drowning because of. Oh, hang on. So you have to look at the time signature of the story. Maybe the timeline. I don't know. Pulp Fiction formula,
maybe.
Yeah, is that breaking up bit that you need to kind of look at. But I really liked this section. The only thing I found a bit odd in these sort of videos is where on an album or on a song where she's singing in an operatic, and she's got layers of operatic. It's not just one layer of operatic voice. So she's doing this thing and it's like, and it's like layers of operatic, and it's just her. Like, so who's doing the rest of the opera? I don't know. You've got a whole choir singing here, love. It's not coming out of your voice. It's not just you.
You're too analytic.
But it's one of those things. It makes me think of who's singing it live? So on live, you wouldn't have that. So just unless you're using a backing track, it would just be her. So I found it interesting that they did that. What I really liked in this section is we switched time signatures. So rather than a standard 4/4, which is what it has been doing up this, it actually switches on this section to a 3/4 time signature. Which, if you're not listening for a 3/4 time signature, it can throw you off. But as soon as I worked out it's 3/4, I was like, okay, I'm vibing here now. So we're getting those 3 bars, and then we're switching again, and we're getting 3 bars, and we're switching, and it's 4 rotations of that. So I was like, this is cool, and it just breaks up that similar structure. Because if they carried on doing the riffs over that section in 4/4, it would have got boring. But doing 3/4 made it really a little bit more interesting. But it continues into the next section. So let's play minutes 2 to 3 for those of you at home.
Bless the child.
Okay, I'm going to go quickly first because I was just talking about the time signature. So that's really mainly what I'm talking about here. So you've got this time signature throughout this. It's constantly moving on the 3/4 to a 4/4, and it basically means that it feels like you're chasing the pattern constantly. So if you're really trying to break it down and vibe with it, you're always chasing that pattern, which I liked. But really, the only thing I just picked out in this one was I started to settle back in. I'd kind of got what I wanted out of the song. So I was trying to then follow the story. I was watching The Warehouse and I was watching the video, and I'm like, I'm just really finding it difficult now to understand what the video is meant to be about. Visually, it looks great. But if I'm trying to understand what the story element is, I couldn't. I sat there for a minute going, what are you trying to tell me? Who's this child? I don't get it. Who am I blessing? I just don't get what the story element was at this point. Andy.
Yeah, it's playing in the background, and I can see there's a scene very brief on where the guy is visiting a grave, and there's a flower there. So it does all look very good. But I think the sort of warehouse scenes are so good. I'm not really concentrating on the story element and trying to sort of piece together what the actual story is. I'm just enjoying the visuals of both. But this section here, or this minute section, has got an orchestral section, which to me is very sort of, very much a Nightwish staple. It sounds orchestral. There's sort of strings and sort of horns in there as well. But at 2 minutes 14, the music drops, and it's just Tarja and the sort of very simple guitar riff underneath it, her delivering my favourite line again, and then it all builds into the chorus again. And she does look like she's delivering it with so much emotion, and it just adds to, like I keep saying, an amazing song, which is my one, my favourite Nightwish one. Just love every part of this. I'd like to have seen a full 6-minute version, if there is such a thing. I don't know, but this is very much a condensed video edit of this song, and there's I'm certainly not happy about the last part, which I'll go on to when we show the viewers the last part of the song.
Okay, well, with that said, let's do it. So this is minute 3 to minute 4:07, which is the end of the song. So for you at home.
The child bless thee and keep thee forever.
Okay, I haven't got much to add around this. The only thing I've got here is it's a very distinctive. You can literally, even without Tarja singing, this sounds like Nightwish. And there are many, many bands, whether you were to talk about like bands like Epica, Elaine, who have all got distinct sounds, but some of those blend into each other. I would listen to them and go, I couldn't really say that. I mean, Blackbriar is another one that sounds distinctive, but it's distinctive because of the vocal delivery. So if you took her vocals out, if Blackbriar, you would go, I'm not too sure which symphonic metal type band this is. But when you do that to Nightwish and you take Tarja's out, it still sounds like a Nightwish band. It's the way they structure their songs. So I like that. And do you know what I was sitting there thinking about? We were saying about how in the early 2000s, where these warehouse videos started appearing, late 90s to early 2000s, we started seeing bands use them a lot more. And I suddenly thought about it. What if, was it down to like the fact that there was a massive recession in the early 2000s?
Could be, yeah.
And so all these warehouses started coming out as businesses went out. And so people couldn't afford to hire sound stages because it was too expensive. So much cheaper to hire warehouses.
Yep. Well, not. Just go and do it if it's abandoned.
Easier to do it if you've got these empty businesses that went bankrupt. Yeah, but that's my final thought on it. Go on then, give us your final stance on Nightwish then.
Just a throwback to the last minute. Tarja sort of harmonises the end of that line that I love, to make a memory. It is sort of harmonised and layered. Very similar to, I guess, the sort of operatic sections that you were considering. How does she do that live? And you think it's a little bit odd when she's delivering it, and there's more coming out that you can hear than she's actually physically possible to deliver herself. But yeah, the end of the song, as I keep saying, it's a video edit, and there's the main riff sort of carries on playing, and then it sort of fades into this spoken word section, and everything sort of kind of drops out. Now, I'm not a fan of this on the full version anyway, and I'm just wondering, for me, they should have axed that completely, somehow found a way to fade out or end the song, but stick another verse in earlier on, just to make a better promotional video for this song and this album. Because to me, that spoken word bit, it kind of sort of ties up the lyric, the story of the song, I'm guessing,
right,
from what I can hear from it. Because a child is mentioned, and innocence, and the innocence disappears because the cross is made out of iron or something. I don't know, but if you're going to do a video edit for a song, for a promotional video for your new album, I'd have stuck in a verse and got rid of that bit. But first time I've seen this, actually, I keep saying it's my favourite Nightwish song. I've never checked out or sought out the music video that accompanies it, and I think it's a really good video.
Yeah,
shame it's not the full version of the song, but I understand the reasons why.
So I don't understand the reasons why. That's what I would argue. So unless the only reason it could be is if it was the record company that pushed it. I can't believe the band would go, we're going to cut 2 minutes off this song for a music video, because then if you think that the song deserves to have 2 minutes taken off, then you would have written a 4-minute song.
But
sure.
These are the days of when music channels were the platform.
Yeah, so maybe they said you can't have 6 minutes video. Yeah. You've got to make a short video under 5 minutes. And
if they release that today, they'd probably do the full version. And we've done sort of 7-8 minute songs.
That's a short one for Doom, isn't it?
well, for bands of this ilk, the top. I'm sure there's. I'm not quite sure how long Noise checks in that we're going to cover later in the session, but
yeah,
we've done sort of songs from this genre that have sort of clocked in at that sort of amount. But I think this is probably record company pushing that it goes to this length, probably for TV airplay.
But you've got to think, so if this is 2002, this is pre-YouTube being anything. So this is pre any of the, I mean, this is MySpace era.
Yeah.
Early MySpace. So we're not talking about where videos were downloaded. It was only be on things like Kerrang TV, Scuzz. So probably that's the reason why they needed a video edit. But because I could never see a band going, we're going to write an 8-minute song, but it's fine. We can just chop it up and give you 4 minutes of it and it'll be just as good. Then you would have written a 4-minute song, wouldn't you? You wouldn't have done 8 minutes on the album unless you thought that it needed to be that long. But anyway, let us know what you think. Nightwish and Bless the Child, thank you very much for checking out the ADK channel today, and we'll see you in the video sometime very soon. Take care.